Hey everyone, welcome back to the current essay. Today we are looking at the latest immigration update from the Department of Home Affairs. And it's a big one. The Minister, Dr. Schreiber, has just extended the Zimbabwe Exemption Permit or ZEPs until May 2027. So what does this decision really mean for Zimbabweans and for South Africans who have been waiting for clarity? Let's get into it. On the 7th of October 2025, the Government Gazette officially published the Minister's Immigration Directive number 21 of 2025. In this directive, Minister Schreiber used his powers under Section 31(2)(b) of the Immigration Act to extend the validity of the Zimbabwe Exemption Permits for another 18 months, pushing the expiry date from November 2025 to May 2027. In simple terms, ZEP holders now have legal permission to stay, work and study in South Africa for the next 2 years. This decision follows months of uncertainty after the previous administration hinted that ZEPs might not be renewed. But the new minister seems to be taking a different approach, one that allows more time for proper consultations and possibly a new long-term immigration framework. The Gazette explains that the Immigration Advisory Board has been meeting since April 2025 to discuss the future of special permits. Their role is to advise the minister on complex immigration issues, and according to the notice, they will continue consulting with critical stakeholders before a permanent decision is made. While these discussions are ongoing, Minister Schreiber has given a few clear directives. No ZEP holder may be arrested, detained or deported simply for not having a valid exemption certificate. ZEP holders can enter and exit South Africa freely as long as they meet all other entry requirements, even if their ZEP is the only document they have. And lastly, they won't be required to show a valid exemption certificate or visa when applying for other temporary visas during this extension period. Now, this decision is definitely going to spark mixed reactions. On one hand, for thousands of Zimbabweans who have built their lives here, it's a relief. It gives them legal certainty, access to jobs, and time to figure out their next steps. But for many South Africans, especially those facing unemployment and limited access to services, this move might not sit well with them. Some will argue that it's time to prioritize locals, that the government has had over a decade to deal with this issue. Others will say it's better to handle the transition carefully rather than create sudden chaos that will affect both citizens and migrants. Whichever side you are on, one thing is clear: this extension signals that the new Home Affairs Minister wants a more structured, consultative approach to immigration instead of abrupt cut-offs. The Gazette also makes it clear that this is not a permanent solution. It's a temporary measure while the department works out what comes next. So for now, ZEP holders remain legal until 2027, but their future beyond that depends on the outcome of ongoing consultations. It will also be interesting to see how this decision impacts South Africa's broader immigration policies, especially with recent debates around border control, employment and service delivery. Now I'm going to share some reactions from ordinary South Africans. I've collected few tweets and comments and I'll read them out so you can hear what people are saying firsthand. So the first comment says, why must Zimbabwe basaye gai? Why is SA government tiptoeing around ZEP? It never happened with Lesotho exemption permits and others. Zimbabwe ba special ka eng? Anxiety and uncertainty ya eng when they have their own country to return to. Conditions were clear from the start, but Zimbabweans abuse our Ubuntu. And then this one says, my hot take ebandayo. If 178,000 Zimbabweans on ZEP lose their status overnight, 178,000 unemployed South Africans could finally have a shot at those jobs, unless of course the system only works when the poor are exploited cheaply. And then the last one says, ZEP is extended. We need to push the DA out of Home Affairs. So what do you think? Was extending ZEPs the right move, or should the government have ended them for good? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching the current essay. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next deep dive into South Africa's most important stories.